Hey, Grand Center Alliance and friends, it's good to be with you, Pastor Bob, Pastor Chris, and we're excited to come with a little bit of an update. As many of you know, they've identified July the 1st as the removal of restrictions brought in due to COVID. And so while our building codes and some of the regular things we operate around, there's
Still
things
exist.
you can't do in the building. As those stay in place, all the restrictions that came in go away, and we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
As we were talking about this, I said, man, I have this picture. And we live by a lake, so if you just picture a nice beach and a beautiful, cool lake and a long dock and hot weather. And for reasons you couldn't control, swimming's been off limits. You can't go in the lake. And but they've said this is the day, and the bell rings, and it's time to go in the lake. And you have some, and we'll just let you visually picture them as they just fly down the grass towards the sand and out onto the dock, shirts coming off, and masks are just doing a little into the wind, and off they go with a yell and a cannonball into that cool water. It's just so awesome.
Yep.
And there'll be others who are like, I don't know if that lake's safe to be in just yet. But they come on down, and for some, they love to come in a little bit at a time, and they get their feet in, and then their ankles, and up to their knees, and they just move in, and they just, we'll call the first group the cannonballers.
The cannonballers, second group, the toe dippers, and everyone in between.
And everybody in between, yeah. There's a whole list of people.
And it's awesome because we've all been made differently. And that sometimes the toe dippers we need toe dippers. We need cannonballers. We need everybody. God's created us all different. And so I think that's really kind of a real cool illustration to kind of think about this with.
I like it too. So for the purposes of our talk, we're going to talk about cannonballers, toe dippers, and everyone in between. And what we want to do is want everybody to feel invited and not intimidated. No obligation to be a cannonballer, no obligation to be a toe dipper, and no criticism back and forth if that's how God made you or that's where you're at. What we want to do is make you feel welcome and comfortable and invited to gather with other believers and just have those corporate worship experiences again.
And it's our desire to create this environment where everyone can come and worship Jesus, be comfortable worshiping Jesus. But it's just not us trying to create that. It's all of us together, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, you know how uncomfortable cannonballers make people when they're flying over their heads and splashing them in the water.
Yes.
Or how difficult it is when you want to run and somebody's in your way.
Yeah.
And so the practice of grace to each other is going to be so important. Need to let you know this, it's not going to be the same as it was before.
No. There's not necessarily some kind of magical wand that's going to be waved and all of a sudden we return back to what was.
Exactly. Well, and sometimes what you remember as what was is faulty memory or nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
You remember the good things.
Yeah.
And other times it's just we've been through something and normal's going to look a little different. And so if you come and you say, well, I'm disappointed or I wish or hang in there because what we're really doing is meeting with Jesus and meeting with one another and man, he's going to do some cool things. So as we make this transition, we really want to do it well.
Yes, we do.
And so we talked about, there's many Christ-like virtues, but two in specific that we'd just like to challenge you guys to keep at the forefront as we head off. The first one, I think, is found out of Philippians chapter 2. And you're on the stool, so you can paraphrase. Chris?
Paraphrase is stop just thinking about yourself and consider other people. Or even don't look down on other people.
Exactly. Well, it says consider others as more important than yourself.
You bet. It's pretty tough to look down on people with you think they're more important than you.
You kind of look up to them.
That's right.
And so we just love this posture that Jesus had and that he calls us to. And where he says, I showed you how to be a servant and I showed you what greatness was and to serve and to lay self down and be concerned about others was really important. The second one I want to talk about is found in Romans chapter 12. And the phrase just says, outdo one another in showing honor.
Yeah,
and
fabulous.
So talk about that a little bit.
Well, what a great picture, right? a group of people that are dedicated to outdoing each other, not in a competition way, but sort of, because we're competitive, but to outdo each other in honor, but just thinking like, as we see each other, honoring each other, respecting, really doing what Philippians 2 told us to do to begin with, was to treat the other person with respect and to think of them more highly than you do of yourself. That's the outcome of honoring people.
Well, and that just translates into your body language and how you talk around them and how you respect their need for space or whatever it is. That's just awesome. So practically, what can we expect? Like when we get here, there will be no more online sign up as of after this Sunday. This Sunday, we still need that.
Yeah, first Sunday in July,
no more
registration is required.
No more online sign up. You don't have to sign in. We'll have some hand sanitizer out for you. There'll be masks there if you want to use one, but there's no mandate. Yep. What's our catchphrase?
Masks are optional, but respect is not.
Exactly. So. Masks optional, respect is not optional.
Yeah. Again, those two virtues.
And so the social distancing thing, we've had like arrows. You go up this stair, down this stair. We're conditioned in the grocery store. We stand this far apart. Is that something that continues?
That's not going to continue, but again, respecting other people's wishes is.
Right on. So we know that this is going to be a bit of a challenge because everybody's going to have a different comfort zone. Yep. But if our posture is to look at others and to try and read, so some may stick a hand out for a handshake. If you're rejected, it's not personal. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. And identifying whether you're a cannonballer or a toe dipper is actually really important when it comes to this kind of stuff. To understand that, if you're one of those guys that's, I can't wait to shake everyone's hands, right? You just have to be careful. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a cannonballer. And this kind of leads us to kind of the third thing we want to think about. Yeah, we've got some bumps in the road. There's going to be some hiccups, and there's also going to be something that's on us not to take offense.
Oh yeah, so in my mind, I picture sliding into a row, and someone slides in real close or tries to push past me, and I'm not used to people being that close right now.
Yeah,
man, that's not personal.
No. And if they move a little further away, that's great. That's okay.
Yeah,
it's all right.
And so there's going to be lots of those kinds of things where we could take offense or feel that it's personally directed when really it's just an opportunity to extend grace to one another. We're going to find our way through this. We're going to show honor. We're going to be ministers of reconciliation. And we're just asking that Jesus give us a sweet, sweet spirit in this place.
Yep.
And that it becomes very quickly, again, one of these spaces people long to gather in because the presence of Jesus is there and the one another's are practiced. And it just becomes this sweet spot.
Yep.
But we don't just want behavioral change, do we?
Nope.
I mean,
we do.
We want people to show honor and to respect one another.
Yeah.
But if all it is something that's outward, we've kind of missed it, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, our goal is not to just make nice people who behave well. That's not the goal. I mean, that's nice to see.
It's the second or the third D, really.
Maybe, yeah, that's right.
The duplication.
Yeah, we want to duplicate God's heart in these things. And so ultimately, what we're looking for is we want to become the type of people where this is a natural outpouring of who we are. We are the type of people who are looking to the needs of others, who are looking to bless people, and not just on Sunday mornings during a church service or a small group or some religious activity that you might be doing. We want to be this kind of people in our community.
Oh man, we're called to be a blessing where we're planted. And I know business owners and people who have lost employees, they're figuring out how to open up, or certain businesses where, well, we might keep the mask mandate a little longer, we might, and they're worried about people's response.
Yep.
And I'm just like, Grand Center, let's be the fragrance of Jesus. Let's be this people filled with grace in our community that understand that there's a difference between cannonballers and toe tippers, or toe dippers, tippers.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. And that we as a people just extend an incredible amount of grace, and we leave the fragrance of Christ everywhere we go.
Yeah, let's shine brightly in our community. And if we can, if God expects anybody to lead the way when it comes to blessing the community and living differently, is it not the church?
It's his children.
Yeah.
That's us.
We can do
We
this.
are the church.
That's right. This is who we're meant to be. I mean, we read about these virtues. That's not just for when we're here on Sunday mornings. I hope we want to become that type of person out there, in here, at home, at work, wherever you are. That's the kind of people that we want to be. That's what God's calling us to.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, last thing. You're going to see some of our ministries start up in sort of a ramp-up kind of a way.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why that is. Not everybody's comfortable immediately volunteering. We have to rebuild our hospitality ministry. We have to rebuild the nursery volunteers and the kids ministries and so we are going to be actively asking, like, hey, we need help with the sound desk, the PowerPoint. We need this, we need that. Yeah. And so if you're ready to cannonball, if that's you, man, there'll be somewhere you can fill out and someone's getting back to you, and we'd love to train you and cast some vision and get you going. If you're a toe dipper, we get it. But just come along with us. We want to get you back serving and using your gifts and functioning fully in the body in that way. And some of the ministries will just take a little bit of time to get staffed up. But we're on the way. It sounds great. We're excited.
Good things ahead.
All right. Thanks for listening, you guys. Looking forward to seeing you.